What is drone?
The term drone usually refers to any unpiloted aircraft, sometimes referred to as unmanned aerial bicycles. These crafts can carry out an impressive range of tasks, ranging from military operation to package delivery. Drones can be as large as an aircraft or as small as the palm of your hand.
Outer space, hurricane disaster zones, Antarctica, your front door. One of the sea destinations is a little less extreme than the others, but it's the point for drones. Drones, sometimes referred to as unmanned aerial vehicles UAVs, are meant to carry out tasks that range from the mundane to the ultra-dangerous. These robot-like vehicles can be found assisting the rescue of avalanche victims in the Swiss Alps, at your front doorstep dropping off your groceries, and almost everywhere in between.
A brief history of drones. Unmanned aerial vehicles are aircraft with no onboard crews or passengers. They can be automated drones or remotely piloted vehicles. UAVs can fly for long periods of time at a controlled level of speed and height, and have a role in many aspects of aviation. The first pilotless vehicles were developed in Britain and the USA during the First World War. Britain's aerial target, a small radio-controlled aircraft, was the first tested in March 1917, while the American aerial torpedo, known as the Catering Bug, first flew in October 1918. Although both showed promise in flight tests, neither were used operationally during the war. During the interwar period of development and testing, the unmanned aircraft continued. In 1935, the British produced a number of radio-controlled aircraft to be used as targets for training purposes. It's thought the term drone started to be used at this time, inspired by the name of one of these models, the DH.825 Queen Bee. Radio-controlled drones were also manufactured in the United States and used for target practice and training. Renaissance USVs were first deployed on a large scale in the Vietnam War. Drones also began to be used in a range of new roles, such as acting as decoys in combat, launching missiles against fixed targets, and dropping leaflets for psychological operations.
Following the Vietnam War, other countries outside of Britain and the United States began to explore unmanned aerial technology. New models became more sophisticated, with improved endurance and the ability to maintain greater height. In recent years, models have been developed that use technologies such as solar power to tackle the problem of fueling longer flights. Drones now have many functions, ranging from monitoring climate change to carrying out search operations after natural disasters, photography, filming, and delivering goods. But their most well-known and controversial use is by the military for reconnaissance, surveillance, and targeted attacks. Since the 9/11 terrorist attacks, the United States in particular has significantly increased its use of drones. They are mostly used for surveillance in areas and terrains where troops are unable to safe go. But they are also used as weapons and have been created with killing suspected militants. Their use in current conflicts and over some countries has raised questions about the ethics of this kind of weaponry, especially when it results in civilian deaths, either due to inaccurate data or because of their proximity to a target.
When more businesses realize the potential, scope, and scale of global reach of drone technology, technology, adoption across industries may accelerate. Here are the elements of a trend that drone technology may have in the future, if it becomes a trend. Number 1. Duration of time. Drones have the potential to break down rigid traditional barriers in industries that previously appeared impenetrable by similar technological innovations. That is why our group believes that in the future, drones will be able to last for decades because they will make our jobs easier and reduce our workload. Number 2. Acceptability. Whether controlled by a remote or accessed via a smartphone app, these unmanned aircrafts have the ability to reach the most remote areas with little to no manpower and the least amount of effort, time, and energy. These are some of the industries that may benefit from the use of drones. Number 1. Logistics and transportation. 2. Photography and filmmaking. 3. Security. 4. Mapping. 5. Entertainment. 6. Leisure. 7. Agriculture. 8. Architecture. 9. Law enforcement. And last, search and rescue. Third element is cultural basis. Our group believes that drones can become a part of society's culture and never leave. Drones can assist people in a variety of ways, making their tasks easier or more feasible to complete. Unmanned aerial vehicles facilitate a variety of applications including commercial, delivery, mapping, and search and rescue. These tools not only generate economic benefits, but they also accelerate data collection. Drones can assist in increasing work efficiency and productivity, reducing workload and production costs, improving accuracy, refining service and customer relations, and resolving security issues on a large scale are just a few of the many benefits drones provide to industries around the world. With these advantages, drones may play an important role in society in the future, making it difficult for us to eliminate drone use in our culture. The fourth and last element is transitory increase and decrease. Drones are no longer only used for military purposes. As multiple industries see them as a very promising opportunity. Our group believes that in the coming years, drone services will expand further, but even if there is a surge in drone industry growth, it will experience transitory decreases and increases, as with all other trends. Some areas still require significant improvement, such as regulation, public acceptance, and cost. Regulation. It is extremely difficult to create laws that allows for innovation while restricting invasions of privacy and misuse of airspace. Drone operations are very complex, which is why several countries currently have very strict policies for flying a UAV, such as requiring you to obtain approval from different government entities and seek permission before each individual flight. While a small number of countries have completely banned the use of drones. Public acceptance. Drones must gain more public acceptance because drones are still a new technology today. Not everyone will be confident that they are safe to use. Companies and organizations will be far less willing to use drones if consumers are wary of them being used to survey their property, deliver packages, or carry out military missions. Drones have sparked widespread public interest, but consumers are still skeptical about the technology's long-term viability. Only the passage of time will be able to persuade them. And lastly, cost efficiency. Drones are currently not particularly cost-effective. A usable consumer model can be obtained for a few $100s, but the drones required for companies to invest in life-changing technologies and systems would cost several $1,000s each. And they may require an entire fleet of them because applications such as drone delivery and service these are designed to save money. It may be years before drone models can be produced at a low enough cost to justify their use. And in order to become a trend, drones must be much cheaper and more affordable so that everyone, including ordinary people, can participate.
Now, let's proceed from the advantages and disadvantages of a drone. First, let's tackle about the advantages of a drone. The advantages of a drone: they can save lives. In natural and man-made disaster, drone can be positioned to survey the damage, locate stranded and injured victims, and assess ongoing threats without risking the safety of rescue teams and first responders. And also, they can support law enforcement. Drone can be used to search for lost children, provide tactical surveillance and suspect tracking, assist in accident investigation, and monitor large crowds. They can also contribute to safe infrastructure, maintenance, and management. Consider the difficulty of inspecting the underside of a bridge or the top of a skyscraper, not to mention the cost and risk. With drone, scaffolding, cranes, or harnesses are not required. Just deploy the system to assess the structure and condition remotely. Also drone, they can streamline agriculture management using a crop management system to observe, measure, and respond to variability in individual plants. Farmers can target areas requiring attention. By pinpointing these areas, farmers can provide care only where needed, improving yield, conserving resources, and avoiding waste. And also, from drone, they can give media access to hard-to-reach places. Aerial photography for a new broadcast or a blockbuster film can be efficiently, economically, and safely captured by a drone. Now, let's proceed from the disadvantages of a drone. The disadvantages of a drone: the privacy violation. While the advantages of drones are numerous, it's also have a technology that can be easily abused because of a drone. It can be manipulated to invade the privacy of a specific target group or individual. With the many causes calling for using drones to maintain safety, many personal liberties could be violated in the name of providing personal or public security with a drone. Endangering public safety. Safety is a primary concern when dealing with the aerial drones. Drones need to be programmed with the capability to sense and detect potential collision and safely maneuver their way around them. To avoid any possible dangerous repercussion, this capability needs to match those of manned aircraft pilots. It's easy to crash in aerial drones. An experienced pilot has the precise skills required to navigate an aerial drone. But for an amateur pilot, the threat of an accident is quite high. Drones that are flown in heavily populated areas have an increased risk of ground impact or injury, especially in the event of a system failure or system hacking. Potential threat to nature. Drones are vulnerable to wild animal attacks and can also pose a threat to nature. When flying drones in an area that has a large concentration of wild animals, there is a high risk of crashing against a tree or potentially colliding with a defenseless creature. Now, let's proceed to drone that can be trained in the future. Maybe there is a disadvantages. The drone, it could be trend in the future because based on those numerous advantages of a drone, it can be helpful to people to easily get information and evidence, to give justice to the victims of crimes, and also improve our economic infrastructure like roads, schools, etc., to maintain the high quality to avoid incidents.